1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey there, Brett, I see you looking down. Don't want to see my little buddy there with a frown. Just because I get more women than you, well, that's only because they don't know you like I do. Sure, you're weedy and kind of shy, but some girlie out there must be needy for a weedy, shy guy. They want you as the needle when they're rolling in the hay. Just hear me out when I say, Brett, you've got it going on. The ladies get to know your sexuality when they get to know your personality. I said, Brett, you got it going on. Not in a gay way, just in a hey, man, I wanted to say that you're looking okay, man. Why can't a heterosexual guy tell a heterosexual guy that he thinks his booty is fly? Not all the time, obviously, just when he's got a problem with his self-esteem. Don't let anybody tell you you're not humpable because you're bumpable. Well, I hope this doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. If I say you got a boom, ow, ow, come on, Brett, help me out now. Brett, you got it going on. That's the conclusion that I've come to, but that doesn't mean that I want to bum you, Brett. You've got it going on. No doubt about it, we'd be getting crazy if one of us was lucky enough to be born a lady. Oh, if one of us was a lady. And I was your man, if I was your man. Well, cause sometimes it gets lonely, and I need a woman. And then I imagine you with some bosoms. In fact, one time when we were touring and I was really lonely, and we were sharing that twin room in a hotel, I put a wig on you when you were sleeping. I put a wig on you, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I just laid there and spooned you. Oh, Brett, you got it going on.
What up, y'all? Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy Jermaine Event. Welcome. Episode 19, last one of 2019. Thank you so much if you've rocked with me for all 19 of these. It was on a rocky road to start with. You know, we had microphone issues to start with. If you've been here with me the whole time, thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much. Slowly, the audience is growing slowly, but it's pretty dope because, yeah. You can only start, you know, somewhere, and it's growing. So thank you all for listening. Thank you if you've tuned in. Just if this is your first time, you know, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you all. Just a random dude, you know, just a random dude with some stories, random takes on things. Sometimes I I just, you know. It's almost rare that I find like-minded individuals. So I just like to talk about things, give y'all my perspective. Most people think it's pretty fucking weird. So yeah, I'd like to share those perspectives with you. And you can get some of those perspectives on Twitter. If you want to follow the account for the podcast, it would be at Babylon5Pod. If you want to follow my personal account, where I do most of my tweeting, ladies and gentlemen, it is at my name's Jermaine. You can email your boy for whatever reason at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can listen to the podcast, follow the podcast. It'd be pretty cool if you followed the podcast at Babylon5.podbean.com. Once again, it'd be really cool if you followed the podcast at Babylon5.podbean.com. You can also listen to the podcast on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere that podcasts stream. And if you want to play some video games with your boy, I'm Team Xbox, and my username is SaucedBoss414. Go ahead and add your boy, you know, if you want to play those games. No, hit me up. Let me know what niggas is playing, because I be hearing niggas talk. I remember at one point, I may have said this. I was thinking about playing For Honor, but niggas was like when I looked into it, I was like, oh, that seems pretty cool. But niggas was like, oh, we don't play that no more. So, I never know what niggas is playing. These two niggas at work the other day, I was hearing them talk about it, talk about video games. they were like, "Oh yeah, the season just started, so I'm about to be up for hours doing this campaign." And if when it's shit like that, I'm like, "Nah, I can't do it. I can't dedicate a certain time to this video game." For me, it's got to be like I got free time, I got random free time, and if I got like a few hours to kill or some shit, and I'm here, and yeah, that's how I feel about video games. I'm not about to like be like, yep, the next 10 hours I'm gonna be sitting here playing this video game. I get bored. Like if I come to 2K to play a game, if it's online and they're 5-minute quarters, I'm bored like before halftime. I'm already done with it. Like so I don't play too often, but if I had maybe if I had a decent team, I also be the only nigga trying to play defense. I'm the only nigga that try to play defense. And what I don't like about playing online is the timing is completely different. Like during the season, I'm MVP. I'm the top player. I'm on my second year. I left the Milwaukee Bucks and signed with the Memphis Grizzlies. So it's me, Ja, and what's that other nigga? Jaren, whatever his name is, it don't matter because he's not. I be setting this nigga up perfectly, like where I could be getting triple doubles if he just fucking dunks the ball when I pass it to him. Like we could be twin towers here with him at the power forward. I'm a 7-3 center because that's just how I always play. I'm not into the chasing a player around at the perimeter type of player. Nah. Maybe I should try it. I don't know. I've never even. I think when I was younger, just playing like NBA Live and just going through the experience of trying to like chase my brother, my cousins, like around on the perimeter. Right from back then, I started just switching to the center. And like I just stayed like when it was defense, I controlled the center, and most people didn't pass to the center because unless you had like Shaq, you had like Kobe or you had Iverson, you had these other like guards or like forwards who were usually the stars of the team. So you usually didn't even try to get the ball. Like that wasn't our mindset back then. But so I always, because people usually overlook the center position, I instinctively started to play the center position. So it's not like I'm cheating. At first, it was like I'm so terrible, and it's very obvious I'm so terrible at playing one-on-one defense against a human being that I had to gravitate toward the position that I know people at most times are not going to feed the ball to. At that point, I had to focus on getting rebounds, and I'm really good at that. Really good at that aspect. That's like me in real life. When I was a kid, I couldn't really like score. I couldn't dribble really, but I just focused on like watching how players would shoot. I would watch how people would shoot, their form. There's this one kid, he would I don't know why, his weird way that he would shoot, but he would like bend his arms like all the way, like the ball would go behind his head and then kind of like launch it like a cannon, like a catapult. Oh, yeah, that's what, like a catapult. It would be like a catapult. So like I picked up on that right away. Like I'm just gonna like swat that. But if you didn't fucking go there and swat that ball, he was probably gonna hit that. You know what I'm saying? He was like me. I would say 40%. 40% of the time he hit that shot, which is too often. If you're not on my team, that's too often, you know. But that's what I'm saying. So like even in real life, that's how I play is just defense and trying to get rebounds. So that's why I play with the center. That's why when I create a player, I play with the center because ever since like 2003 NBA Live, when I first started playing basketball games, that's what started me. I remember I used to get ran. I used to get ran at in them games. But I was a young boy. just getting ran at. Like I would dominate the computer teams, but then when it came to my brothers and my cousin, I would get dominated. I played with the Toronto Raptors because I was a real big Vince Carter fan, obviously. So like when I played with the Toronto Raptors, Vince Carter averaged like 40 something. You know, we did like the real quarter times. We didn't do abbreviated quarters. And I just fed the ball to Vince Carter. And I would lose every time I played a human being, but I would dominate all the computer teams. So I never really saw a reason to switch up what I was doing other than just feeding one player because only the humans could beat me. But then, like, maybe, like, the game that I played before I played my oldest brother, who nobody else could beat. My oldest brother was always undefeated. The game before I played him, whatever computer team it was just shutting Vince Carter down. I was getting the ball to Vince Carter, and they were locking him up. I couldn't score with Vince Carter. And I was losing in the first quarter, and I just, like, started passing the ball around. Just this person would score. Then I would shoot with this person, moving the ball around. I would get the ball to Vince, go like drive the lane, pass out to Mo Peterson. He would hit the three. Like right before I played him, I had to like switch up the way I played, and I was like, damn, that was like I was losing pretty bad in the first quarter, and then I dominated them by getting the rest of the team involved. So then the next game I played my brother who nobody was ever able to beat. And I wasn't able to beat any of them. I lost to all of them. That was like, they already saw me as an automatic W. And, but we went in there, ladies and gentlemen. And I had just played this game that I had to move the ball around. And I was like, we're going to do that in this game. And I start dominating him. I dominate this guy. You know what I'm saying? At some point, I started to deviate from the plan and just try to. I was up by so much. I started to just feed the ball to Vince Carter, just going back to my old way of playing. And he started to catch up. And my cousin said to me, like, "Yo, just keep doing what you were doing." You know. Like, don't do that anymore. Don't do this anymore. It's like, stop doing what you're doing right now and go back to what you were doing. And I was like, all right. And I just kept passing the ball around, like moving the ball, ball movement, the real way to play basketball. Like, I naturally got forced into playing basketball the right way, like from a team. And yeah. And then luckily, when I played my brother the very next game, I dominated him. No one was able to beat him before that, and I wasn't able to beat any of them until that day. But niggas be getting emotional about games like that. I think that was the end of us of niggas playing seasons. Niggas took that to heart. Took it to heart, so we didn't play that shit no more. Yeah. Yeah. But now, yeah, I just play for the center. I just play the center position. I don't really play the regular. Anywho, if you want to play with a nigga, add a nigga. I went on this long babble about why niggas about niggas playing 2K back in the day. Yeah, that's how it was. Or NBA Live. Back with the Toronto Raptors when my nigga Vince Carter ruled the world. My nigga Vince Carter. It was, it's the holiday season. It's the holiday season. It's, it's around that time. And, I was thinking, was at the in-laws. But I was thinking about when I knew my grandma was like the shit. You know, when my grandma was the coolest person around. Remember, I was at her house because like there was just like a gap. There was a gap from when I was young to like right when I was like 18 of when I had really seen my grandma on a consistent basis. And so I remember I was at her house and she's sitting at the table with like some of my aunts, like yeah, my aunts, uncles, like old, like great aunts and all that, like older people. It's the older folks sitting around at the table in the kitchen. We're kicking it. It's Sunday. It's just a regular Sunday. You know, I don't think it was anything special. It's just Sunday, and I remember I smelled. And I'm like, it kind of smelled like weed in here. You know, I remember thinking like it kind of smells like weed in here, but but I wasn't sure. You know, I was like, that's not what's going on right now. I'm gonna just leave it alone because that's not what's happening right now. And my grandma says, JJ, you smoke weed? And I remember young 18-year-old Jermaine had a decision to make there. You know what I'm saying? Do I say yes? Yes, I smoke weed, or do I lie? Because I don't know. I don't know why I'm being asked this question necessarily, but I'm gonna keep it real with my grandma. I'm like, yes, and she's like, hit this, hands me the joint, or maybe I think it was a blunt. She handed me the blunt. Smoked weed with my grandma. That's when I knew she was the coolest person around. Um, no, my grandma was the coolest person around. Just stories I heard afterwards was pretty extraordinary. Um, what are you people doing? What are your people's New Year's resolutions? You guys got any New Year's resolutions? I don't really believe in them. I don't really believe in them. You know, time is a made up construct, man. We made that up, man. It doesn't exist. Okay? It doesn't exist. So, in that aspect of it all, I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions, but at the same time, my nigga, I think I'm about to try to eliminate added sugars. I'm just if I'm gonna eat some sugars, it's gonna be from like fruit. It's gonna be natural sugars. If I'm gonna have sugar, I'm gonna try to like eliminate grains, my nigga. I mean, that's not really like a New Year's resolution. I just think that's something most people should be doing, my niggas. Most people should be doing this. And I'm saying just like, you know, constantly training for nothing. I don't want to, you know, I was like, I'm too old. Definitely not going to, at this point, you know, I'm not going to fight a nigga when I'm like 35. You know what I'm saying? That's like when niggas need to retire. And yeah. So I'm just trained, become a better Jermaine, drop this project next year. That's the focus. I'm not sure. It was gonna be called Anti-Hero, but at this point, um, yeah, it's probably not what it's gonna be called. I was like souring on the name, honestly, before, and then I like the new name for it is I don't even know. I have a new name for it, and I don't think I'm gonna call it Anti-Hero. You guys will see the name of it when I put it out there, but yeah, the album's gonna be the fully produced by Mike Regal. Um, it's gonna be one acapella. I'm thinking, yeah. So this project's gonna be completely produced by Mike Regal. I want to do the next project, 100% with Swim, Nathan. I just love his sound, you know. Really want to just do a full project with him. That'd be fire. For this project, still the single for will be "Feel Like No One." This is gonna be the name of the first single. Gonna have a video for that. And if I'm plan if things go the way I'm planning, the second single will be my song that's titled "Pop." And yeah, I would love the flow of it all. You know, there's just like I'm feeling real. I was reviewing my drafts of these songs, and I'm just really, really into the energy. You know, the vibes. I just don't know how else to explain it, but the energy here is just undeniable. You know, it just pulls you in. So yeah, I'm just feeling pretty good about this. And it will be out in 2020. Yeah, it'll be my best effort so far. Christmas Day, the wife and we went and saw Uncut Gems. You know what I'm saying? We went and saw Uncut Gems. Adam Sandler was pretty amazing in this movie. The whole movie was pretty amazing. It had me like the whole time. And I usually don't play that game. And by playing that game is I need to go to the bathroom before I use use the restroom before I go into the movie. And I'm not gonna order any liquids. That's the game that I don't play that game. I don't play that game. But it was Christmas, and then with that timing, I had a bottle of water, a little bit of the bubbly, and we watched the movie. And like maybe about an hour in, I had to go to the bathroom. But I was like, I said to my wife at some point, I'm like, hey, I played that game, and I need to go to the bathroom. She's like, are you gonna go right now? And I'm like, no. Like, I'm gonna wait for this to for the movie to just calm down for a little bit, because we was into it, and it was maybe it was like 45 minutes in. I'm like, I'm gonna just wait for it to just like have a little like a slow moment, and then I'm gonna just try to run to the bathroom. She's like, good luck, because it was crazy. It's pretty tense from the get-go. I think it starts out, I don't even want to spoil too much. I don't want to spoil anything, actually. I'm not going to spoil anything. What I would say is that Adam Sandler had already, so people didn't expect this movie to be so good because like Adam Sandler had put out so much bullshit over the past few years. A lot of those movies on Netflix. I was hating on Cobbler. Yeah, I just didn't like a lot of the things he did, like Grown Ups and all that shit. But it's like outside of that, he had already proven that he could do a serious role with things like Spanglish, with things like Punk Drunk Love. He had already proven he could do the serious role. But we'd been blinded by all the nonsense that he'd been putting out lately that we didn't expect anything. So like he killed it in this one. It's a great movie. I would say everybody should go out and see this one. We saw it at the Oriental Theater. It's I love that theater. I think that's the theater, the setup, the way it is, all old school like that. I wish all theaters just like stayed that way. I mean, all that new things. You're just trying to make me fall asleep in there, you know? That's all you want. You just want me to fall asleep with that new setup. Give me the old setup. Give me that theater that smells like piss. All right, it smells a little bit like urine. It's like I'm over here in the corner, and I need like did something happened over here, and they didn't have time to clean it out. But like, I'm here, and now it's up to me to decide: am I gonna move? Because maybe nothing happened over here. Maybe it happened in 2 rows above me, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I need that. I need that experience when I go to the movies. I need that. Oh, it's sticky on the floor. I need that moment. I need that experience. That's what I want. Uh, that's what I want, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I thought was interesting was The Weeknd plays The Weeknd. He plays a celebrity The Weeknd, established artist The Weeknd. Um, at the same time that Kevin Garnett is like a dominant force in the postseason. I don't think that lines up. I don't think it lines up. I think those timelines are kind of off there. I think you could have gone, if you're going to go with Kevin Garnett in this scenario, you could have found an artist from that time frame. Go find Chameleonaire or something. I'm just a big Chameleonaire fan, so it would have been dope if you put Chameleonaire in there. My mouth is dry, so I'm just drinking a little bit of water. I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought it was weird that he plays cocaine sniffing The Weeknd. I guess I just spoiled that. Damn, he's cocaine sniffing The Weeknd in that movie, and I just didn't understand. Didn't understand how he would have been The Weeknd at the same time that Kevin Garnett was some dominant force in the NBA postseason. I don't think that matches up. Somebody's gotta talk to me about that. Get back to me on that. I don't think it adds up. I could be wrong. I was wrong when I said Jim wasn't a sports guy, because then I watched The Office, obviously. Like 3 episodes in, he schools Roy in a game of basketball. He's like, yeah, basketball was kind of my thing. And then he's just doing all this behind the back shit, crossing this nigga up. I was like, damn, I was wrong as hell on that. So there's my retraction on that statement in particular. Here's my retraction on that. Yeah, I would say the movie was really good. It's got a shock value to it toward the end. Like, I screamed out at the end. It's pretty shocked at the end of that movie. I didn't even notice that most of the other theater, the rest of the theater had screamed out also, because I had screamed out so loud because I was so shocked toward at the end of that movie. It's a really good movie. I would say, in my personal opinion, out of the movies that I've seen this year, I would say it's the best movie. I didn't see too many movies this year, admittedly. I did not see too many movies that came out this year. I looked up some of the movies that came out, and I like Joker, that was cool. And I like It Chapter 2. That was pretty fire. Other than that, I don't know. I didn't see too many things. So take it with like a Laurie's, take it with a grain of Laurie's seasoned salt, my nigga. Cause I didn't see too many movies this year. I saw some. Maybe I didn't like them all. I'm not too big into the superhero movies. And yeah, I'm not too big into all those movies. I thought I was, but as we went on, I remembered that I didn't really care. I don't know. I saw my wife and we saw one of the Avenger movies, I think the second to the last one. It was kind of interesting, but we hadn't seen Avengers, any of the Galaxy thing movies with the Groot person the people were into. Didn't see any of that. Didn't see any of the movies that connected to make that movie. So it was all these personalities that I never invested any time into. It's now here they are interacting. It's had I watched all these 1,000 movies before I came to this movie, I'd be like, oh shit, Now it's cool when this person walks in the room with that person. Like I'd have that vibe, but I didn't watch those movies. I didn't watch Thor. So like when the movie started and the one character got killed, I didn't really understand who that person was because I didn't see any of the Thor movies. So it was like I guess I just fucked the whole shit up because I didn't see any of that. And it's like I don't know who that guy is. I don't know why this person is here. Who's that? So that's how it is with the movies. So it was like, yeah, once I stopped seeing like I think I probably didn't even see the last Iron Man. So like that's probably when I was like, I'm falling out of what's going on. And I think when they came out with the first Avengers movie, I wasn't sure if I needed to see it to go along with the story. And when I found out that I did, I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm not gonna go back and watch 1,000 movies. And then I saw the schedule, and I was like, I'm not going back and watching 1,000 movies. It was only like two at that point, but I was like, that's like 7 hours. That's like 7 hours of my life, my nigga. God damn. That's like 7 hours of my life. And I didn't want to take that investment of time. That's how that went. Nah. I was gonna talk about this documentary called Tell Me Who I Am. But I'm honestly weirded out by it. I was like writing out these notes and like kind of like just shaking, trembling or some shit for it. Just like, and I didn't want to like even, I felt weird like typing it out. So I just say it's an interesting documentary. It has a weird turn, like twist to it. Like, I'll say a little bit of it. The twin at 18, two twin dudes, and then at 18, one of them gets into like a car accident and loses his memory. And yeah. And then like at some point in life he finds out like about messed up past, his messed up childhood. So yeah. It's pretty weird. It has a crazy turn and yeah. If you guys should check it out if you're into that. If you like documentaries like true crime documentaries, like we all like true crime documentaries, you should check that one out. I just want to talk about some top fights that I saw this year. Not necessarily in person, but Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum. Fucking war. I think the ref should have stopped that fight in the fifth. I think that's when everybody knew that Israel was next. I think that's when most of the people really knew. I knew after the Derek Brunson fight. Some people could say, "Oh, Derek Brunson's a scrub," and if you feel that way, if you actually feel that way, like I don't know. I remember when Derek Brunson fought Anderson Silva. That was a big deal. That was a big deal when Derek Brunson fought Anderson Silva. So, like, if you think Derek Brunson's a scrub, like, you're a casual. I'm sorry to throw that word out there. I hate that fucking word. Hate that fucking word. But like, you're a casual if you think Derek Brunson is a scrub. So when I saw what he was able to do to Derek Brunson, I was like, oh shit, this nigga's coming. This nigga's next. You know what I'm saying? And that Kelvin Gastelum fight was one for the ages. Probably best fight that we got this year. Fight that I saw in person, Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier 2. That rematch, saw that in Anaheim. That was pretty fucking amazing. Just two heavyweights going to war. Going to war. And I think definitely bet on my nigga Stipe. I think so. I think I did. I mean, I knew he was. I thought he was going to win, but I thought he was going to win the first fight. And when Cormier won the first fight, I screamed. Well, I tried to scream, but I thought I was gonna fuck my lung up because I couldn't like breathe. It was like a weird gasping scream, kind of. I'd never heard. It was like the world was one way and then it was another, and so I had to go to that second fight, and it was a war, and it could have gone either way. Stipe was just like not really moving out of the way of these punches. He was taking a lot of damage. And it was like, damn, he can get knocked out at any point here. He's taking a lot of heavy shots. But somehow his chin held up. I mean, a lot of the point of when he got knocked out the first time, he just didn't see that shot coming. He wasn't prepared for it. Caught him off guard when they were just when they were leaving out of the clinch. Caught him with that hook. Fucking knocked him out. Well, he knocked him on his ass. Let's be real. And then couple more shots and the ref steps in and stopped it. But yeah, it was insane. Insane to see. Stipe comes back in Anaheim and loses his belt. It's pretty cool. It was I think that's I don't know. There was some lore about him losing his belt. I think he lost to John Jones in Anaheim. So, like, his wife didn't want him to fight in Anaheim just because of superstitions. And, like, I think there was some other lore with it. And he decided, no, I'm going to break that lore. And I'm going to fight in Anaheim. And he lost his belt. I think it was, like, something with champions losing their belt in Anaheim. I think that was part of the lore. Another fight I saw in person that I think was probably one of the best fights of the year is Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman. I'd probably say that was the second best fight of the year. It's phenomenal to watch in person. Phenomenal to watch again when I watched the replay a few times. It's pretty phenomenal. No takedowns. They're collegiate wrestlers. They bragged about their wrestling acumen pretty much every day leading up to this fight, and we got it. Not a single person attempted a takedown. They hated each other, and they had a kickboxing match. That's what happened. It was a pretty amazing fight. I would love to see Usman versus Israel Adesanya. That's the fight I'd like to see. Another fight with my boy Israel, speak of the devil. Israel Adesanya versus Anderson Silva. Very inspiring fight. Saw that live from the crib. That was a pretty amazing fight. I started training jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu after that point. That fight was so amazing. I didn't even notice that at the time, leading up when they did the face-off, that Israel Adesanya did the Rock Lee pose, and then naturally, like, I don't know, it's not even naturally, Anderson Silva, like, kind of, like, leaned back at him with his hands on his, like, hips. Like, what the fuck? But it was, like, the same pose that Gara gives Rock Lee when they're about to fight. And that's a pretty insane little moment right there. Just random moment. He just so happened to respond perfectly to what was happening there without even realizing it. And then they went on to have an amazing 3-round fight. There was the passing of the torch at middleweight, I would say. I would definitely say Israel Adesanya was like, to me, everybody should have known right there that he was going to be the champion. At that point, he was already the champion. They just hadn't crowned him yet. Another phenomenal fight was, I think it was this year, Felicia Spencer versus Chris Cyborg. Was that this year? Now that I think about it, was that last year? First time. No, that was 20. All right, that was July. Yeah, that was July. All right, yeah. Felicia Spencer versus Chris Cyborg. That was this year. Phenomenal fight. Felicia Spencer was one of the only people that was like, no, I want to fight her. I want to fight Cyborg. And it was like, yeah, she was coming off the Amanda Nunes loss, but still nobody wanted to fight Chris Cyborg. And Felicia called her out, and she went for her submissions, but she definitely felt that power of Chris Cyborg, and you saw her face when she felt that power. She went in there and took a beating, but she lasted all 5 rounds and showed a lot of heart. Showed a lot of heart. Another phenomenal fight was Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes for the belt in Chicago. I didn't go to that fight like a fool. I was like, Cejudo's about to get his ass kicked. He's too small. And he went in there and looked like a fucking superhero. Really regretted not going to that fight. Cejudo's the man. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 2. Back and forth fight. I'd say if anything, it was a draw. I thought it was a draw, but I'm not a judge. Definitely not a judge. But those are some interesting fights of the year. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to talk about here. I was gonna talk about that documentary, but I just don't want to. I just don't feel like it. And it's the New Year's, so maybe I'll give you niggas a shorty. I'll give you a shorty. Give you a shorty this week. All right, yeah. So yeah, that's all we're gonna talk about this week. If you guys once again want to follow the podcast on Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account where I do most of my tweeting at My Name's Jermaine. You can email your boy at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. And you can follow the podcast. I'll repeat that. Follow the podcast at babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to it on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much anywhere that podcasts stream. Also, if you want to play some Xbox with your boy, add me at SauceBoss414. Thank you all so much for rocking with me. This is episode 19. Hope you guys have had a great time listening to me this year. I hope to get better at this. I'm not necessarily saying that I think that I'm bad, but I think I'm getting better as we go. And I just hope to get better and give you guys more and more content. As I was saying, I would actually love to do some Twitch things. I just don't know what games to play. Let me know what games to play. I'll give you guys whatever games you want me to play. I'll play the games. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys have a great new year. And 2020 is gonna be pretty cool. Thank you. Peace.
get back, try to get that, but it's getting wet. I'm still with my get back, trying to get that, but it's kitchen boy. I'm dipping, I'm whipping in the kitchen boy. I'm still with my get back, trying to get that in the kitchen boy. I'm dipping, I'm whipping in the kitchen. Out the bag, fuck your cat, nigga. I'm top dog on TDE. Shit, know I'm bad as blanket stab. So low, you won't see me, bitch. Past the shade, change the grade. Yeah, I think we get the message. Still, I'm feeling empty whenever I look back on the lesson. It's a blessing. What they say, I say I'm a non-believer. That umbrella just for shade. I can't follow, I'm a leader. Now I see work for me. I don't need no crew or actors. Claim they down to play they role, but they fold like chiropractors. Where you at? Save the chat. I'm just venting on the facts. When I was down and at my lowest, no fuck niggas at my back. Y'all didn't low, that's just that. Pardon me for being invested. Pardon me for trying to do what all you little niggas neglected. But I'm